All right, since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade last month, legislators on the left have sought any and every angle they can to try to roll back the protections for the unborn and take the rights back away from the states. Well, today, the Senate Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions, as well as the House Oversight Committee, held hearings on both abortion and life in post-Roe America. Ultimately, the authority for abortion laws in this country has now been returned to the states. So how will the left maneuver to continue pushing their obsession with abortion? Join me now to discuss this and more is Senator Roger Marshall of Kansas, who practiced medicine for more than 25 years, delivered more than 5,000 babies as an OB/GYN. He is also a member of the Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions. Dr. Marshall, welcome back to the program. Always great to see you.
Tony, it's great to see you as well.
You spoke passionately for the cause of life today in the Senate committee. In fact, you kind of took the lead in that hearing. What is your overall impression of the hearing from today?
Well, Tony, first of all, let me thank you and FRC for helping me out. We were notified of this hearing maybe 2 days ago. And as I started doing my research, one of their arguments is having an abortion is safer than having a baby. And I just got to tell you, I had writer's block. I didn't know how do you respond to such an absurd statement? But your research team gave me great ammunition. And you pointed out that, look, Washington, D.C. has the most liberal pro-abortion laws in the land, but they also have the highest maternal mortality rates. What a great fact to push back on them, saying, look, more abortions is not the solution to this problem. So thank you for your research team. And my overall take on this is they are fear-mongering. They are lying through their teeth. And it doesn't, once you even point out the lie, they just double down on it. So they are trying to function at the emotional level and pulling down women with them. And of course, just no respect at all for the unborn baby.
I mean, several myths that they are pushing out there, Senator, and you kind of took them down one by one. But one is that, now women who have ectopic pregnancies or they have miscarriages, they're going to be denied health care.
Right. So that's their scare tactic. They're trying to scare women and tell them they're not going to be taken care of. But look, I've never performed an abortion. I'm a pro-life physician, but I've taken care of hundreds of women with ectopic pregnancies and hundreds more with miscarriages. Of course, we're going to take care of them. In our residency training, we were taught, don't let the sun set on an ectopic pregnancy. So our physicians will continue to take care of women with these problems in the emergency room. We'll do it hopefully before it becomes, immediately life-threatening. Every trigger law out there that maintains protection for the life of the mother.
Yeah, and when you are, the mother is the first patient. You're trying to help the mother, and if in the process the baby expires, that's not an abortion. You are working to save the life of the mother. And as you said, these are scare tactics that they're using. But I'm going to talk later about the dangers here with the abortion pill that this administration is pushing, that those who have an ectopic pregnancy might not know it and may die as a result of not having that face-to-face medical counsel with a doctor. I want to go back to your first point about right where we're at here in Washington, D.C., where they have some of the most liberal. In fact, they want to expand it even further. They're having council meetings this week actually discussing that. But you have put forth an area where we could have common ground. And that is the prenatal care, making sure that these mothers have access to the health care and the needs that they have, whether nutritional or whatever. Can we not find common ground with the Democrats on that?
I sure hope so, Tony. And this is where your listeners are so good at helping out. There are excellent community centers out there, prenatal clinics that are helping moms. And it's way more than just what I can do as an obstetrician. These young moms need social support. They need nutritional support. They just need help. And we want them to finish their education. A whole lot of things that we can do to give them emotional support. And we had a clinic called the Stanton Clinic here today that's from Idaho, but there are 4 family clinics like that to every Planned Parenthood clinic. So we're doing it. We can do more. We can do more to help impact this high maternal mortality. The number one thing we could do is to get pregnant moms in for early prenatal care and then regular prenatal care as well.
So the Democrats are so focused on this. It's unbelievable. But as I mentioned earlier, the contrast between the two ideologies has never been clearer. You've got one celebrating a court decision that allows people to help mothers make the choice to bring a child to life. Others you have wanting to celebrate the right of a woman to abort her child and end its life. The Democrats pushing in this week for another vote to try to codify Roe v. Wade into law in the House. It'll go back over to the Senate. What does it look like in the Senate now?
Well, Tony, they're not going to have 60 votes to do anything right now, particularly on this issue. There might be a couple Republicans to vote for something, but it'll take 60. But then they're going to try to attack the filibuster again. And you've done a good job educating your listeners on the filibuster, and I won't go through that again. But once again, I think we'll be able to stop it thanks to the filibuster.
By the way, you represent Kansas. I'm going to be coming to Kansas here very shortly to help promote the Value Them Both campaign. Kansas is going to be the first state where voters will weigh in on abortion post-Roe with a constitutional amendment. Explain that to our listeners and our viewers.
Well, first of all, vote yes on Value Them Both. We value both the life of the mother and the baby. Very briefly, the Kansas Supreme Court de novo decided that women have a constitutional right to an abortion, and they voided all of the protections we had given to both the mom and the unborn baby. So this constitutional amendment will come to a vote August the 2nd. We encourage people to vote yes, to value them both. And this is how upset the White House is about it. Last week, the White House hosted an event with Kansas state legislatures, helping them with a strategy to defeat this. So now Joe Biden not only wants to give us 9% inflation, drive up groceries and our gas prices, but now he wants to get involved in the Kansas constitutional amendments. So thank you for doing it, Tony. We appreciate it. And again, we encourage everybody to vote yes to value both the mom and the baby. Yeah,
so folks, be sure, and early voting starts actually this week. And so if you're early voting, make sure you vote for this constitutional amendment, value them both. And of course, talk to your family and friends. There's a website there as well. It looks pretty good, but I think, Senator, as always, it's going to come down to turnout.
Absolutely. I don't know how it's looking, to be honest. The Democrats are going to pull out all the stops right now. Tony, this is a spiritual battle for the soul of the nation right now. God is letting us see how bad things could look. And I wake up some days thinking this is Sodom and Gomorrah. But God's going to give us a chance. And like you said, this is the first chance to push back on the Democrats. And that's why it is so important that we do get out and vote. It's a primary election. Typically, Democrats don't turn out for primaries. But we have every reason to turn out. Every Kansan has every reason. Just think of all those unborn babies that we're helping to protect.
And we're certainly going to encourage them to do just that. Dr. Roger Marshall, always great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us today, and a great job in the committee today.
Thanks, Tony.
All right, folks, if you live in Kansas, and I know we've got a lot of our listeners in Kansas, make sure you're turning out to vote for Value Them Both constitutional amendment.